Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a kind of impromptu, kind of just off the wall discussion on sort of the FortNite Survive the Storm update and sort of the state of the game that it's in right now and the future of it, because, we're kind of unsure on what that is. So I have Wesley with me here, our social media guy. Say hi, Wesley.
Hello.
The wonderful human being has been playing FortNite with me. And we tried the update out the other night, and we have a few things to say about it, and it got us thinking also about what the rest of the game is going to be like. So first off, we're going to quickly discuss our impressions and experiences with Survive the Storm, and then we're just going to kind of lead into everything else we have with the discussion. This is going to be pretty informal, just kind of us chatting about the game and what we think and all that sort of stuff. So I know that I wasn't the biggest fan of the survival update. Maybe I expected more, maybe I had my expectations too high, but it was it's a great idea. It's a great way to take advantage of the sort of fort building that is in the game Fortnite, because that's one of its core aspects, and it's kind of surprising something like this wasn't in the core game originally and that it's coming later on. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of half-baked, which, yeah, the game is in early access, which is fine, and the mode is still in its early testing and everything, and they even want us to give them feedback. They say it's only around for 2 weeks, and then they're going to throw us probably something else. Actually, they really didn't say what's coming after that. But anyways, a quick short list about what the Survive the Storm patch notes brought with it is the survival mode, of course, and then some modifiers to missions. Certain missions have these modifiers, like these zombies drop poison gas when they get hit, or they slow you down when they hit you and stuff like that. They added a new weapon set, the hydraulic weapon set. They added some new animations, a new shielder monster type, and then just general bug fixes and stuff. So some small stuff. I noticed that they changed some of the menus around and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Some small UI changes here and there. But Wesley, what did you think of the survival mode in the short time we played it? We played it to about 7 days, so we got a decent chunk out of it.
Right. Yeah, and to be honest, it was the building portion of a regular mission. That's what I felt like. I did appreciate the abbreviated harvest time that we had, so someone isn't holding everyone hostage by looking for a chest or something.
Yeah, you kind of have just 10 minutes to go prepare for the night, and then it starts whether or not you want it to.
Right. I did like that. I did like moving it forward. But just as far as at our level, I feel like 14 nights is doable. Especially with the group that we had. Everyone seemed very competent, very familiar with the game.
Yeah.
The weapons, from what, just from my experience, I feel like whenever my legendaries broke, it would switch to a rare, and I would just use it till the rare broke, to be honest. And then I would just whatever auto-equipped is what I would use. Because I didn't feel like, I've got to have a certain gun, or I've got to have a certain trap,
Yeah, because it's just that simple.
Well,
you're saying?
Yeah, and again, I don't know if that's due to our level. I don't know if that was due to our team, being a good team. And I feel like 7 nights, we just got bored. Also,
yes.
We didn't really organize. If we would have had a strategy, 14 nights, no problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. We didn't even really have a strategy. We just kind of threw up a base and traps.
Yeah, your friend who put down like 5,000 traps, and that was it. We just let him do all the traps, and then I made this kind of pyramid thing around one of the generators, just because I wanted to show off my building.
Yeah, I learned a new building style.
Yeah, but it wasn't necessary.
No, it wasn't. And, that's one of my complaints with the entire game in general, is that putting effort into base building isn't really necessary, even though it's fun. But it always feels like a waste of resources. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, I just feel like it was a stretched out end of a mission kind of mode.
Definitely. You don't think it introduced a whole lot of new sort of stuff, which I agree with. The only quote-unquote new thing was that your fort will actually last for more than 10 minutes, so you'll actually be able to test it out. You know, there is a reason to put effort into building the fort, but at the same time, it still doesn't really go through that much stress, and you're still not going to really have much of a hard time defending it. You just have more reason to put more effort into it, but at the same time, we still could have gotten by with just a square, like usual, you know?
I know. I was like, what's this? Why is this just a plain building? You just got a square around it. I'm like, oh, that's all we need.
Yeah. Exactly.
I said, no, let me do my monstrosity of a pyramid over here just to show off.
So yeah, honestly, that's really all we have to say on the Survive the Storm. There just isn't, or on the survival mode specifically, because there just really isn't a whole lot that they brought to it. You know, it's kind of a shame because we were really hyped for this expansion. And, you know, we're still looking forward to more. We're still enjoying the game and everything. We had fun with it. But it was just something, like, I know there's the 14-day mode, and it takes 4 hours. We don't need that. No one needs that. You know, people are complaining on the forums about that sort of thing. So, Wesley, you were telling me before the chat that on the forums, there were people that just weren't entirely sure on what the Survive the Storm update was, or if it was maybe endgame content or something like that. It seems a lot of people still aren't entirely sure where Epic is going with this game, or what the endgame content is exactly going to be, if it's going to drastically differ from what we're experiencing now, if it's just going to be the same thing at a higher level, but even then it's scaled, so it wouldn't even be that much more difficult, you know. What do you think?
For the future of the game, we were talking about this, how some things feel artificially stretched out. Yeah, there are things in place that make it feel like, okay, well, we don't necessarily need to do, you know, like the massive skill trees and the squads and, you know, just all of that stuff.
I think one of the biggest examples of that is, for example, Wesley and I, we were playing, you have like these overarching missions. Some of them don't assign you to do anything. They're like, oh, just play a mission and find these 3 things. So we could do any mission we want. We picked a specific mission and we got 2 out of the 3 things. The third one just didn't spawn in the map. So then we had to play a whole nother 15-minute round just to grab that one thing, and that's only progress for that one main mission, when instead we could have just gotten the third thing on the previous mission if the game had generated it, and then made progress on our next main mission instead of having to waste 15 minutes just trying to find that one collectible. It's kind of, there's a lot of little things in the game like that just, it almost makes it feel like a mobile game, you know?
Right. Yeah, there's definitely things there to stretch out the game, but I also feel like they have packed a ton in that game that we haven't seen yet.
Yes.
Because it does take so long to meet the requirements of the next mission. I think that's why I have not seen any footage or heard anyone talk about the end of the story. I don't know if you heard what the end of the story is.
I wonder if it's even in the game. No, I'm staying very in the dark. I'm trying to keep my own impressions and everything, so I'm really not looking too much into what people are thinking about, like, the late game, until I get into the late game.
Well, I don't even know what's after Plankerton. I mean, I haven't seen anything on that. Now, I don't know if people just give up if they get bored with the game, and
or if it's even like
further
in the game, because I know there's the placements for like the world map, but I don't know if there's actually content in there. You know what I mean?
Something that I noticed on the forums. Well, the first thing is 4 hours is too long for the 14 days. The other thing is they were comparing it to a raid. So, like in Destiny, Warcraft was used as an example. Those raids take a long time. If you've ever been in one, you know, I mean, they're involved, and you know, there's different puzzles. It takes a whole team,
but those like feel epic,
right?
Like those have they have a vibe about them and everything that this just does not have. This just feels like, honestly, Wesley, you and I could have fucked around with 2 people and still gotten by.
Oh, we would have definitely got the low tier rewards. But that was the other thing they were talking about. You know, farming legendaries from this. That's what, you know, raid quality items from a raid activity. And that's not what Survive the Storm is. Survive the Storm is like an event. It's a limited time event. It is not in-game. It is not a raid. But people are confused about, you know, what this is all about.
Well, I think the goal is to introduce it again later after getting feedback. I think. Because why else would they want feedback on it?
I think it's still going to be an event. Just like, you know, Overwatch does, like the Summer Games. That was just...
like they repeat their event?
Right.
You're saying?
The Year of the
Okay.
Rooster, they did that. Whatever, they did a Halloween event, and I think that's something that they are doing with Survive the Storm. I think it's just an event. I don't think it's an in-game like raid level. I'm sure that the difficulty ratchets up like whenever you're doing a level 70.
Yeah,
that's pretty
definitely.
crazy, but it's still not in-game, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I feel like, to me, the sort of end game that Fortnite needs is something where you need to build an epic base every round if you want to survive. You need to throw down traps. You need to use a lot of resources per each mission, and these missions are going to start taking a half hour to 40 minutes, but not collecting, like actually building and fighting off monsters. Because now they take around half hour to 40 minutes, but they don't need to. That's just because everyone's fucking around on the map. The late game for this needs to be focused base building, like every second counts. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to actually be able to build what we want Fortnite to be. We need to be actually utilizing all these mechanics instead of feeling like it's a waste of time to build a great base and everything. That's what this end game needs to be. And I hope that it's building up to that. Because what are we, like 35, 40 hours in right now on average? And we're still really only getting into the meat. We're really starting to really experience what Fortnite is supposed to be. And that may be an issue, the fact that it takes that long for it to get to this sort of stuff. But at the same time, if it doesn't expand on this anymore, then that's also an issue. Because if it's a slow drip burn, there's an audience for that. And I'm one of those people. I would appreciate it if this game just kept throwing content at us slowly, but I just don't know if it's there or not.
I think you're right. I mean, with the free-to-play model, it's a balance. You have to have a game that's good enough people want to keep playing. But you have to have a game that people want to play and spend money to keep playing. And you can't have too much of one or the other, because then it won't work. It'll be every other mobile game out there. Now, something that I was thinking about, and they already have the pieces in the game, but I think it would be great for an in-game like raid type epic base building like you were talking about. Did you ever play Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare?
No, but I know how it plays out. I've seen a lot of footage of it and everything. It always looked fun. It's kind of a shame that I never played it, but
it was fun. It was fun. But it was a lot of little kids and stuff. I didn't always have the best matchmaking, but it was a good game. And the mode that I like the most, and this is something that I think could be easily implemented for Fortnite, it would be epic, is they had a 4 CP map. It's like a war type map where you had 3 points to defend, and if you lost point 1, you fell back to point 2, and then if you lost point 2, you fell back to point 3.
Or like, that's a mode in Battlefield too, like rush. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. But the last point was the castle, and you did not want the other team to get to the castle. So like, you would not want the zombies to get to the castle, and that could be like your storm defense. I think that's kind of something they're trying to do with storm defense. But they could implement that in a way where it's like a 4 CP instead of capture the point. That's what I mean by like a 4 capture the point. And I've talked about that even with Overwatch, because they have the 2 CP maps. And I was thinking, wouldn't that be cool if they had a 4 CP mode where you had to defend 4 points?
Yeah. Now that would be fucking awesome. And like, yeah, they could, like you were saying, they could incorporate your like main storm base as well as like sort of the last resort. And you know, that would give you even more reason to want to protect it, because it's like, oh shit, this is my base I've been building up for so long. No, I think that'd be a really cool idea. See, that's the thing. They need to have, while they're going to have the same missions that need to utilize all of the stuff, like I was saying earlier, they should be introducing other content like that as well. That's something that they definitely need to keep bringing on as well, because my worry with Plankerton, to be fair, I haven't experienced it as much as I'd like, but to be fair, I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting a lot of new stuff. Whereas, obviously, in the first world, whatever it's called, for some reason I can't think of its name, you know, you're doing a lot of the same content.
I hear what you're saying, and that's why I want you to join me so we can get some of those missions knocked out. I really want to do Deliver the Bomb.
I definitely want to try that out.
I want to experience that and see. I mean, if they're able to change it up that much just in the second town or whatever you want to call it, I think that there's potential, man. There's a lot more, but it's just so slow getting there. There's
the potential
13
is
pages.
Definitely there.
13 pages of quests
it's
before
ridiculous.
you finish Blankerton.
I mean, again, it took, 22 to 24 hours to beat World 1? Like, some people are going to give up by then.
That goes back to the slow trickle that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Where, like those missions, we needed to do a mission, and then it threw us into a storm defense where we couldn't even get the pieces we needed.
Yeah. It's like, what? Come on, game. It's a lot of stuff. See, and like, even in the achievements, like, I know that's a weird thing to say, but we were looking at the achievements, and it's like, oh, complete 1,000 of a specific mission type, or kill 10,000 of this enemy. It's like, even you can tell right then and there that the developers do expect us to be playing this for a long time.
I think they do. They do. And what I think...
They hope we do, of course, but...
Right. I feel like our consensus... we both love the game. And
Yes.
Just thinking back on the things that we've said, it feels like we're almost bashing the game. But we're not.
Yeah, no, we're a big fan of it. We're just talking about, like, the parts we don't like so much.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The consensus for us, I feel like, is we want more, and we want it to speed up. I feel like it's just a slow grind to get to where we want to go, and there's not much incentive. Because going back to, a raid type activity or even a survive the storm activity, if I'm going to spend 4 hours doing this event, which, hey, I've done stuff like that in Destiny, believe me, but it was for something, right? I'm going to get that, you name whatever the loot is, and I want that. I need that. I have to have that for the next raid, or for, there has to be a carrot. If there's not a carrot on the end of that stick, why am I in this stupid thing? Let's go do something else.
And yeah, FortNite, like, doesn't really have that at all. Just yet. Like, it has, like, yeah, you'll get a llama, and you have the chance of getting this, and that, but in Destiny, like, the raid, it's like you have a chance of getting, like, these 4 or 5 weapons, and it's like it's going to be one of those each time. Whereas in Fortnite, it's like, who the fuck knows what you're going to get? It's like, I just know I'm going to get, like, the loot box. And to be honest, I get so much shit that it's like, I don't even care what specific things come from it. Which, to be fair, I don't even know if that's a complaint, because it's like, I go through the menus and I always have a lot of extra weapons now. I could use more heroes. And there's, like, still a lot of EXP grinding that's kind of frustrating, but I don't know. It gives you stuff fairly frequently. It's just the quality of the stuff varies a lot.
I do like the crafting system, but I have no reason to use it. I do like... did you even know... I mean, surely you knew the crafting system was there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's buried in everything. There's too many menus.
Yeah, and it's like you can only do it in-game, which is weird. But yeah.
No. I'm talking about the last little box at the bottom on the left side.
Transform?
Yes, transformations.
Yeah.
That's a huge convoluted system, and there's no reason for me to transform anything.
Yeah, I was doing it yesterday, and I was getting low-tier shit. So it's like, alright. Basically, it's like the Rocket League crafting, where you throw in 4 or 5 of the same type of item to get one of the higher tier. That's what it is. For those who don't play the game. But yeah, keep going.
I like it, but there's no need for it. There's no reason for it. The squads, gotta go. There is no...
Oh God, we're not even going to get into that right now.
No reason for squad. I mean, even for loot or whatever, I mean, not loot, loot boxes or like any kind of pay to play, I just can't see why you need squads at all, even with that pay model, a free-to-play model.
Yeah, because it's because like what squads do, like the stat boosting stuff, that could just easily be achieved in a much simpler way. Like, that doesn't need to be squads. Like, that part can still be in the game, the stat boosting and everything. It's just the squads are such an unnecessary way of going about it. It's that artificial lengthening we were talking about earlier. It's like, for example, okay, we are getting into this. Like, for a squad. So how it works is you have like 6 different types of squads. Each one focuses on a specific stat. And in order to put survivors in those squads, you have to get survivors from the loot llamas. And then you have to pick a squad leader that has a personality. And then you can throw squad members in as you please, but if you want to maximize your output of this squad, you have to find a specific squad member that has the same personality as your squad leader, and these are randomized. And then you can go even further and find one that has the same personality and a specific skill that the squad is looking for. And it's like, yeah, there are those people that appreciate that, and I appreciate that sort of thing too, but this is just over the top unnecessary for the minimum amount of stat boosting you're getting. At the end of the day, it's like, I'm just going to throw in a squad because it's there, rather than because I want to.
So, I told you the other night, I said, I am going to sort out my squads and my hero and before I get off, because you're like, hey, I'm going to take off. I'm like, all right, well, I need to sort this stuff. I pulled up the menus.
Let me guess, you were on for another half hour.
No, I pulled up the menus and I'm like, I'm tired. I just put all my skill points, I dumped them in my skill tree to get my upgrades for my pickaxe and stuff, and then I went to bed. I'm just like, I'm not screwing with the squads. I don't even care anymore. It's too much. It's too much.
That's the thing. It's like, in between games, you're generally spending 10 to 20 minutes minimum at the menus organizing everything. And again, there is a crowd for that, and there are games I want to play that do that, like RTSs and stuff, or like Civ. That's where I'll spend 20 minutes in between each turn doing things. The thing is, you were saying this earlier, I don't remember if we were recording or not, but you were saying Fortnite is kind of trying to be everything at once, and it's like, it's kind of frustrating because Fortnite is not the type of game I want to be spending 20 minutes in the menus with. I want to be back in playing building forts because, as we said before, the gameplay is fun as hell. It has a lot of potential, and it's our favorite part. It's what keeps us coming back, and I want more of that. And a lot of the game is limiting us from that. Like, half the time you're spending in the menus and stuff. And for stuff that doesn't just feel worth it at all, like the squad systems.
If I do have to spend time in the menu, like when there were 4 of us in our group, and you said, well, I'm ready, or I don't know what you were doing. I guess you were just throwing random stuff in. because I didn't have time.
I wanted to play it.
I was, I'm looking through stuff. I've looked through 2 cards, and I've got 5 more tabs to go through. And you're like, I'm ready. I'm like, all right, I'll just do it later, and I'll just play with what I have. Which, fortunately, a green machine gun works at our level because I didn't even worry about building anything new. I didn't worry about upgrading. I just hopped in and played, and then at the end of the night, throw it all on the table and sort it out. But then at the end of the night, I'm done playing, and I don't want to do all that inventory management.
Yeah.
Not even the inventory. I don't mind managing my heroes. I do like that system. Squads don't need it. The grind or the what is it? The adventures or whatever, where you get a car and then you send
survivors.
People out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those are literally, that's straight out of like a mobile game. There's a system where you take a survivor another thing you get from the loot llamas, and you just send them off on like a 4-hour expedition where they may or may not come back with resources. And the amount of resources they bring back is such a small amount that it doesn't even matter.
Fallout Shelter. That's what it reminds me of.
Yes, like Fallout Shelter. Exactly like Fallout Shelter. And honestly, it's a lot of those types of games. But yes, it's a great example. I was thinking the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't need that. Not on a console.
It's like, again, it's like, not with this type of game. Like, we're getting resources in game. Like, don't get me wrong. As I said in my review, it can be a bitch sometimes to have to keep just going after resources every time. But the thing is, sending these things out is not an answer to that either. It also, like I said, it's such a small amount of resources you get in the first place. So it's just kind of like, I don't really want to be doing this. I just want to go back in.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I think that's something they need to take a look at. I mean, and I'll say this again, I think that Warframe has nailed the free-to-play experience. I don't feel pressured to buy anything in that game. Now, if I do feel like I want to pay to speed things up, because that's where you spend money, is to speed. I mean, you can purchase things, but everything in that game is available. And you don't have to spend a dime or more money if you, manage your stuff. And you're patient. I think they need to do something like
you're just going to have to wait a lot longer.
Right. And And that's another big complaint. I read one forum post. A guy spent $200 on llamas because he wanted. I mean, and he had the money and he was willing to spend the money on it. He loves the game that much, and that wasn't the issue. The issue was after spending $200, he still didn't have an epic hero that he could play.
Wow, it's that randomized, is it?
Or maybe it was a legendary. I think legendary. He was going for.
Yeah, it was probably legendary.
A high tier hero.
I mean, I just got my first one last night too, and I'm at like 36 hours in. I got lucky though.
You were playing with a rare this whole time. You made it to level 15, 16 with a rare.
Yeah. And then remember, I just got that legendary Outlander, and I started using him for the rest of the night. Remember that?
Right. So, yeah, I think they need to work on the reward system as well. Just like, activities versus rewards. There has to be some guarantee. It's got to be that carrot. Back to what I'm saying. There has to be a carrot on the stick, man.
Like Destiny, people complained about the RNG to a degree, and I get it, and they were right. But the thing is, again, like I said, like you go into the raid, and it's a pool of 5 or so that you know you're going to get. It's still very hard to get that one specific gun, but you know what you have the chances of getting. Whereas, in FortNite, it's like it could be fucking anything.
It is worse. It is. I don't agree with Destiny's RNG, even though RNG for some reason is on my side with most games. Like I had the Galahorn was the most sought after random loot item that you could get in Destiny, and I had like 6 of them, and I had buddies that played for 2 years and never saw a drop. And it's like that's not fair. If you do the hardest activity available, you should be guaranteed the best reward for that activity, in my opinion. And the RNG in Fortnite is 10 times worse than any RNG I've seen.
Yeah, but there's also there's so many things to get. Like the loot llama has 7 different categories of things you could get. You could get a survivor, a weapon, a schematic, a hero,
a choice between whichever one. That's the best.
A choice between them. There's a couple more I'm missing, I know, but it's just what?
Most of that's unnecessary. And again, I feel like I don't even need to do that because, like I said the other night when we played, I didn't do anything to progress. Like I didn't put any level ups in any of my guns and any of my heroes. Nothing. We just went in, played. I just used whatever was in my inventory, and it was fun. We progressed. What did we do?
Yeah.
We did a whole page, didn't we? A mission, a quest.
Yeah, no, we did it. We got a decent chunk of the game done last night. Yeah, we played for 6-7 hours straight.
Yeah, and I think the last 2 nights of Survive the Storm was with a green machine pistol. I just had
Jesus Christ,
a common gun. So I don't know. I do love the game. I'm with you. 100%. I want to play more of it. I want to do more of the story.
Oh yeah, we are definitely going to keep playing
it. But I want it. I want a reason to keep playing it. I want the carrot on the stick, and I want to speed things up a little bit. The artificial slowing down is just, I don't like it.
Agreed. And it can still be there, just not to the level it's at. If they toned it down a bit, I would be fine with it, I'll be honest. But it's just it's overdoing it a lot.
I don't even mind the massive skill trees. Have you made it to skill tree 2?
Oh yeah, I'm a decent chunk into skill tree 2 now. Yeah,
those
it's
are
crazy.
Ridiculous. I thought the skill trees were complex in Skyrim. They don't have nothing on Fortnite.
No, this is honestly one of the most complex skill trees I've ever fucking seen.
But the thing that I really, really like about them is no matter what I put a point into, it counts across all heroes.
Yeah, and honestly, most of the skills are pretty good.
They are. And if I do
you never feel like you wasted a point.
Right. I'm a constructor. I like constructor class. But, hey, you know what? I can get the bomb drop from the soldier and use it on my constructor.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that. I do like that spend points on whatever you want to. You can use them on any of your characters. Your characters are interchangeable. And I also like, now I'm going to talk about things I really like about here. I also like the fact that your XP is separate. So when you get your XP, you get it on a card, so you can choose where to spend it.
Yes, that's true.
I only get
just
XP.
going to the one hero that you play as. Like, you can literally grind one hero, and they won't get any of the XP because you want to boost a different hero that is too low level to play where you're at right now. It's really cool.
Right, and when you retire your hero, you get that XP back.
Yep, that's literally what I did. I was playing with my my epic hero. I think that's the tier. It was a pretty good tier. It was a blue tier, like MMO tiers. And I was playing with her like literally my entire 30 hours, and then last night we were playing, or 2 nights ago, and I got the highest tier. I got a legendary hero. So what I did was retire this hero I was playing 30 hours with, leveled up this new hero to the level she was at, the old hero was at. It was great, almost instantly. So I'm like at the same playing field, but I can still try out this new hero. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like that. Because that would really suck to be in Plankerton, and then you just decide that you want to start a new hero and have to go back.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, I did have to lose her, though. If I didn't get rid of her, it would have taken much longer.
That's true. It was a little give and take.
Because now I only have the Outlander to play. I don't have, like, a second class to play. Like, I could focus on one, but, like, yeah. What were you going to say?
I have 3 epics and a legendary that I got from the Survive the Storm, one of those quests. Or one of those llamas, whatever. And so I use my epics in my hero squads. I'm not even clear on what these are for, but I know that if you have hero number 1 and you level them up, and you put them in the squad along with your primary hero, you get the perks from hero number 1 with the hero that you're using.
Yes. Okay, I will say the specific hero squad, I think that is cool. I like that squad. It doesn't feel like a useless one. This one, it's the same idea that we said earlier, but it directly contributes to your hero, to the character you play as, stats and abilities. And it's much more simplified, and it makes sense.
It is. But I was really confused at first because I'm like, why do I have 2 separate squads that do...
Yeah, that's the other thing. The game just doesn't explain it to you at all. Literally just nothing. You just figure it out.
I still don't understand my base defenders because I have Storm Shield defenders and then I have regular defenders.
Yeah, see, I thought it said something like you could call them in, but like I've never seen how to do that.
You can, but only if you're short a player. So if you are in a mission with a full 4, then you can't call in a defender, which I think you should be able to.
I agree because A, they're probably not going to be very helpful, and B, players can drop in anyways, and players do drop in pretty frequently. Like, you won't be without another player for very long, at least from my experience, so you should definitely be able to do it, like...
Now, I do use them on the Storm Shield, because I do a lot of the Storm Shields solo, and I'll just set up defenders on all 4 corners, and it's like, okay... They're going to cover those corners, and then I'll cover this area, and then, yeah. I
agree. But unless you have anything else you want to delve into, I think that we are pretty close to wrapping it up. I think we've said a lot of good and bad about the game. But, again, overall, as we said, we really enjoy it, and we say this stuff because we want the game to be better. This is how we think the game could improve and how we would keep playing it, you know what I mean? But, Wesley, do you have anything else super important you want to delve into?
No, I think we've covered quite a bit.
Yeah, honestly, we covered most of the game, to be honest. I think we covered it pretty well. Well, thanks you all for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks, Wesley, for joining me in FortNite. We are really the only 2 that on the GameCast crew that play the game right now, so we had a smaller discussion with just us 2, but we're trying to get more people on it, because again, we do love the game. But as you guys may know, it's a $40 game right now, and it's going to be free to play in a year. If you want some more thoughts on the game, some more in-depth thoughts on some of the stuff we didn't talk about in here over some gameplay footage, you can go check out my review of FortNite on the GameCast channel, and we will continue to be doing coverage on the game as updates come out to it, because as I said, it's going to be coming out next year, free to play, probably I don't know, summer 2018. I think they said they're going for about a year before the quote-unquote full release. It's in early access closed beta right now. It's an interesting type of development. That's something we can get into another time, though. Thanks again, Wesley, for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, dude. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts and everything in the comments below. You know, we had a lot of good discussion in here. We'd like to continue it in the comments and see what you guys have to think about the game. We will see you all soon.